Welcome to the Get Real with King Arthur show. And you people who are experts in language, which is all of you, and don't mumble. Play with language, explore its wonder. It belongs to you. And so we talked about building the house of poetry, but this applies to any use of language. And we compared it to building a house. And we said that first thing you gotta have the foundation is emotion. Don't lie about it. Maybe it's bad or emotion you're ashamed of. And then you wrestle with that, which is the structure of your poem. And it's text. Text is a complete communication, as opposed to sentence, which isn't. So sentence is left brain, text is right brain. Okay, so you built the structure of your house. Now you've got boards and cement and nails and everything like that. And we carried the metaphor on, and we said that your structure is composed of metaphor and metonymy. Metonymy is, don't let those words scare you. Metonymy is usual associations. We call that the boards, okay, of the house, okay? If you're talking about San Diego, you probably talk about the harbor and the SeaWorld and some of that stuff. Now, and metaphor and simile, they're the same thing. Well, simile uses like or as. They're the paint of the house, the colorful emotion. Now, we've got one more thing to talk about, and that is the sound of poetry. Poetry is meant to be spoken. And ancient poetry was spoken. For example, the Iliad and the Odyssey, they were spoken. And Old English poetry, spoken, like the conversion of King Edwin. Now, let's talk a little about the language, the sound of poetry. Let me say first, is there anything more beautiful in the world than the human spoken language? Now, some people aren't careful with it and kind of foul it and mangle it up. But we love the sound of the human voice, and let's do some things with it. Notice a few things about the sound of poetry. Basically, the English language is a series of accented and unaccented syllables. And usually, the most usual pattern is ta-dum, unaccented accent, ta-dum, 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 ta-dum. The curfew knells, the parting day, the low being heard by slowly o'er the lea. And heroic couplet, but Pope wrote, usually 4 beats, and Milton in Paradise Lost, or Wordsworth in the Prelude, usually 5 beats. If it's unrhymed, they call it blank verse. Well, we don't bother about that. So we got ta-dum, 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 ta-dum. And then the next, that's iambic, if you want to know, and trochaic is dum-ta, dum-ta, lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints in the sands of time. Now, there are two more that are 3 syllables long. See, iambic and trochaic are 2 syllables. Anapest is one. The Assyrian swept down on the wolf as a wolf on the fold, and his cohorts were shining in purple and cold. So 2 unaccented followed by an accented. Now, dactylic is very rare, and accented followed by 2 unaccented. This is the forest primeval, the blooming pine and the hemlock. Now, so there is the pattern of accented and unaccented syllables. Well, I left out the big one, which is rhyme. Robert Frost said, writing poetry without rhyme is like playing tennis with a racket that has no web in it. So, we love rhyme. And usually it occurs at the end of a line of poetry. By the way, the line of poetry is not necessarily a sentence. If it goes on, we call it enjambment. You don't have to remember that term. But rhyme is, we love rhyme. Now, sometimes rhyme can come at the end of a sentence. Sometimes it could come in the middle. I like this one. The doctor, of course, ran away with the horse. I get a kick out of that for some reason. The doctor, of course, ran away with the horse. We have rhyme. I was going to mention one of my favorite rhymes is from Byron's Don Juan. And oh, you lords of ladies intellectual, have they not henpecked you all? Henpecked you all. Well, he's having fun with the sound of language. He can do crazy things with it. And, remember that the definition of a word is not necessarily, has nothing to do with the sound of it, really, except for an onomatopoeia, like buzz, buzz, whiz, whiz, things like that, bang, bang. Well, anyway, the point of it is, well, just have some fun with the sound. They say the most beautiful word sound-wise in the English language is cellar door, cellar door. Another trick with language, for rhyme, is alliteration. That is the repetition of initial consonants. The white foam flew, the pearl followed the tree. You see those F's? The white foam flew, the pearl followed the tree. And so that's alliteration. Assonance is the repetition of sound, of the vowels, like break, break, break on thy cold wave, oh sea. So we got sound patterns, accented and unaccented. We've got rhyme. We've got alliteration and assonance. You don't have to remember those terms. But have fun, as Byron did with, and oh, ye lords of ladies intellectual, have they not henpecked you all? Anyway, to play with the sound, and they're marvelous. They call organ tone Milton, the sound of like an organ. or you might want to illustrate the sound of an instrument with words. So remember, words have sound to them as well as meaning. And so I say to you now, you've got the house, you've got the foundation in motion, you've got the structure of the house, which is the development of text. You've got the boards, which are metonymy, usual associations, and you got the paint, which is metaphor, unusual. The moon is a ghostly galleon tossed about on wintry seas. Well, it's not really a ship, is it? Well, anyway. I just rely on, develop yourself, play with it. Play with sound, make it sound like as you want it to sound. You ought to read Tennyson's Into the Valley of Death, Road to 500, cannon to the left of them, cannon to the right of them, cannon to the forward. And you think you're in a battlefield. So all I can say is start playing, with knowing that the language is beautiful, can be beautiful and wonderful and magic. So go to, my dear friends, and start being creative with your language. Have a good day.